Hey there, welcome back. It must be Tuesday. This is a special Tuesday. I'll admit it on myself. This is my birthday, the day that we're filming this. It happens to be a Tuesday also. And I will confess, once and for all, get it out there, yes, I really am 104 years old. But get over it. Anyway, the news, of course, is there's going to be a live auction October 16 and 17, Branson, Missouri, the Branson Convention Center. The phone bank is all tuned up. We're going to have live bidding, period. There's going to be social distancing. There may or may not be a face mask rule, and that may be optional. We don't know yet. That comes up at the end of September. Beyond that, we're also going to have internet bidding for the very first time in the 40-plus years of history of the Branson auction. I've always been terribly concerned about it in the past, but we finally contracted with a company that I actually believe in. So, if you don't want to come in, if you don't want to attend in person, we will have internet bidding as well as our live streaming broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, and our website. You can go to our website, click on a button there, and you'll be watching the thing live. I think it's about 8 or 10 second delay between the actual product and what goes out over the airwaves. Now, let's get on with cars, because that's what we're all about. We're about cars. And today we're going to talk about tributes. I think that's appropriate on my birthday, tributes. Yeah. First, let's talk about Hemis. The Hemi engine. But let's be a little more accurate than that. It's not really the Hemi engine, it's the Hemi head. It's the cylinder head, not the engine itself, that is hemispherical. And Chrysler didn't invent it, just like Henry Ford didn't invent assembly line production either. The Hemi head is a hemispherical chamber which improves the gas flow in and out of that chamber, and it allows better positioning of the valves and of the spark plug. And that's what makes a hemispherical chamber so much more efficient in automobiles, in an automobile engine. Now, the very first one was actually in 1905, and the company's name was Piper. And 1905 was the first known example of a hemispherical head. A couple of years later, Fiat came into the picture. They produced a Grand Prix race car with a hemispherical head in a little four-cylinder engine. Now, once you understand how a hemispherical chamber works, and we'll give you a graphic example of it here. Take a look at this. Aaron threw this in so you could actually physically see it. And it's not flat, it's Hemi. And the gas can come in as a vapor, of course, and it can go out as an exploded vapor, and it's all very, very, very efficient. Well, Chrysler got into the deal during the Second World War. They were developing a 16-cylinder V16 with hemispherical chambers. They were trying to get this engine to be as efficient as it could be and make something over 2,000 horsepower. Now think about that, back in the 40s, over 2,000 horsepower from an engine. They were trying to develop that for the Thunderbolt, and they actually got it done, but it was almost the end of the war, so it never went into production. Oh well. Coming out of the war, the technology continued. And with that technology came the very first. It was a 331 firepower. I remember lifting the hood on a 51 or 2 Chrysler. That was a Chrysler Windsor. And right there on the valve covers, and it said firepower. Oh, this must be good. Well, it was 331 cubic inches, and it produced 180 horsepower. That was good too, because if you remember, the Chevy V8 came out in what, 1955 with a 2 something, I forget what it was, 283, I think. I may be wrong. Anyway, that was 1950-51. In 56, they had advanced to the point of a 354 cubic inch V8, and they put that into the Chrysler 300B. Now, the 300B was an executive car. It was a 2-door rocket, and it was a very exclusive club to own a 300 car. The 300B with the 354 cubic inch engine produced 1 horsepower per cubic inch, 354 horse. That was pretty amazing. By 1966, the 426 came out, and that was the first ones had a 4-barrel and 10.5 to 1 compression ratio, and they produced, well, they said they produced 425 horsepower. The truth of the matter is, they produced well over 500. But because of insurance regulations, they didn't want to hurt everybody, so they called it 4 1/4. All right, so there's some history on a Chrysler Hemi. Now let's go to another one, kind of the same era. Pontiac Gto. What does GTO mean? It doesn't mean goat. It means omologato. Gran Turismo Omologato. That means Gran Turismo homologated. So what's homologated mean? Well, FIA, Federación Internacional Automobiles, okay? They are the organization that writes the rules for all racing on the entire planet, the FIA. So GTO is a class that has been certified by the FIA. Are we clear on this? Now, GTO the car. John DeLorean, Bill Collins, Russ G, they're the guys that are responsible for the GTO. There was a big internal battle going on. Oh yeah, that John DeLorean. There was a big internal battle going on against racing by Pontiac. And eventually by the entire car industry. The entire car industry came out at one point and said, there's a ban on racing. We are no longer, as manufacturers, going to participate in racing. I was doing Trans Am at the time, and I was highly disappointed. But the team of DeLorean, Collins, and G, they still got together and they figured out a way. They managed to stuff a 389 into the 2nd generation Tempest chassis. And that, everybody believes, was the beginning of the muscle car era. And those 3 guys are considered to be the godfathers of the muscle car. That's great stuff. Now, tributes. Why tributes? Well, because today I'm going to present a couple of tributes. These cars weren't born like you see them. They were made this way by an individuals. It takes a team to build these things. It really does. This is a 71 Hemi Cuda tribute. Now, it's got a motor in there that produces 550 horsepower, which is actually about the horsepower that the big Hemi made back in the old days, the 426. This has had a rotisserie restoration. It's absolutely every nut and bolt. Aaron will show you pictures of the engine compartment, and it is so good looking. It's a thing of beauty. I mean, you look at those valve covers, and you look at the wiring, and you look at the shaker scoop and all of it. It's just done really, really right. And also comes with a set of the original wheels. So that's a beautiful car. 550 horse, power steering, air conditioning, automatic. Oh boy. I wanted one of these when they were new, but I had priorities at the time called children, so that had to wait. Then there's a 70 Pontiac GTO Judge Convertible. Come on now. Oh, always wanted one of those too. Nowadays, I probably can afford it. Back then, it was a little bit difficult to justify something like this. Now, this one has a very, very special engine that came out of Australia, of all places. Did you know that Holden in Australia is Pontiac in the USA? And Holden is still making cars and making engines, and it's a fantastic operation, and they produce this motor, which produces over 400 horsepower. And again, we've got an automatic, and we've got air conditioning, we've got all of the niceties and all of the accoutrements that you would want in a modern touring car. So, tributes, not the originals, okay? However, if you want a real Hemi Cuda, and you can write a check for over $2 million, you can have one. But that's what it's going to cost. And if you want a real 70 Pontiac GTO Judge Convertible, You can have one, but it's going to cost you over $200,000. Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to spend that kind of money. Yeah, neither do I. But what you do is you find a really good group of people that know the history of the car, that know everything about it. Remember we showed you Steve McQueen's Mustang from Bullitt? Okay, that's a tribute. So are these. But these are cars that are as real as rain that you can afford. Oh, by the way, you're going to have that opportunity October 16th and 17th at the Branson Collector Car Auction. I hope to see you there, and I hope you really enjoy this car when you get to take it home. Have a great day. We'll see you in October. Bye for now.